The flavor of Philly. Victus cheesesteak bat. Okay, so overview and concept. The theme is kind of nothing tastes as good as victory feels, besides cheesesteaks, of course. So, in order to celebrate the 2026 All-Star Game in Philadelphia, Victus is giving fans the opportunity to taste victory for themselves with the help of their limited edition cheesesteak bat. Key points in this presentation include showing the rich flavor of Philly's culture and just collecting with collectors, fans, casual athletes, and Philly residents. So the agenda, we're going to start by going over the goals of this marketing plan, the Philly special cheesesteak bat, influencers and specific promotion tactics, general video promotion ideas, Philadelphia tie-ins, and then a campaign timeline, and then metrics. So to start, the goals are to one, utilize the cheesesteak bat to connect to a wider audience than just Philadelphia residents and local fans. Obviously, this is going to resonate with Philadelphia fans, but this is something that's really unique and hasn't been done before. So it also should stick with other people, given that a lot of people are going to be coming in for the All-Star game. Two, we want to make sure it allows customers to establish an authentic connection to the brand through personality-based and engaging advertisements and content related to the release. So by being more personable and audience-driven, it'll make them more likely to buy from here again, as they'll feel a connection rather than just feeling like it's a brand like forcing spending down their throat. Three, they would like to grow Victus's audience and overall engagement long term. So it wants to be successful beyond just this one campaign and to carry on into other campaigns. So the bat itself, the Philly cheesesteak bat, which is $259.99 to keep up with competitive rates and also to account for packaging and the complicated design on the bat. So the Philly Special Limited Edition bat, its slogan is "Order up the ultimate taste of victory," designed for hitters who are hungry for a win. So it features artwork of the cheesesteak with the Victus logo, and then if you notice at the bottom, it says Philly Special, which is just a nod to both the sandwich and the city's sports history. And then the package says taste like victory. Um, because again, Philly is just for everyone, it's a sign of winning. And honestly, everyone's winning when you have a cheesesteak. But also the package has a hole in it so you can kind of see the cheesesteak, so it looks like it's like you're like opening a wrapper, like you had just ordered a cheesesteak. So then, in regards to influencer and promotion, so the main influencers included in this promotion are JL Jupiter, who is a Philly food and YouTuber, um, a Philly foodie and YouTuber. He has 392,000 subs on YouTube and 177,000 followers on Instagram, and he's known for trying different foods around Philly, but especially Philly cheesesteaks. And then John Boy Media, who is like a baseball influencer and social media account. They have 2.2 million subscribers on YouTube and 1 million followers on Instagram. They're best known for baseball news, breakdowns, and general reactions to baseball culture and media. And then Popstar.Katie, who is a Philly, New York City, New Jersey based influencer. She has a more female leaning fan base. But she does have a lot of followers online. She's 165,000 followers on Instagram and 333,000 followers on TikTok. And she's known for a lot of Philly content. And she's previously worked with the Phillies. And she came to a game and gave them a pep talk before a game, and that video did well on TikTok. And then lastly, Quinta Brunson, who is a Philly-born actress, writer, and producer. She has 1.9 million followers on Instagram and 315.5 followers on TikTok. She is known for her Philly pride and love for Philly culture, as well as for her sense of humor and involvement in hit series Abbott Elementary. She's very involved on social media. Her videos tend to do very well. Her sense of she's from Philly, born and raised. So she frequently mentions cheesesteaks, her cheesesteak order, like her preferences like that. So she kind of has the natural charm that a lot of Philly buyers are interested in. So specifically for each individual influencer, for JL Jupiter, we would have him film a cheesesteak review. However, instead of a regular cheesesteak, it would be the bat. So like he's going to go take a bite and then you just see. So it could be done in the style of his usual videos, like he's going into a restaurant and trying to order it and then about to take a bite and then it's the bat. Or it could be a full video of him trying to use the bat or like learn it. So it's like trying it in a different way. Also, he could be a liaison for a video trend. on TikTok and social media in general, the hashtag how do you cheesesteak trend. So basically, he would have fans post their cheesesteak orders or where they get it from, and then the fan with the most engagement, he would then try, and then that fan would win and get a ticket to the game. Then for John Boy Media, we would send them a copy of the bat ahead of time in order to allow them to review and do a breakdown of the new release. That way, fans who have watched them previously can sort of see to get an opinion of the bat from a reliable source that they know will be authentic. It'll also seem more natural and it shows that the brand is trustworthy. Their content consistently performs well across all social media and it's very repostable. So then it can be easily clipped and it'll reach a wider audience range. A lot of people that I knew from high school who are interested in baseball follow them. But yeah, so they feel authentic because they can give their genuine opinion. It'll increase interest in the product overall. Then there is pop star Katie. She is a little more influencer leaning than baseball leaning. She does talk a lot about Eagles and Philly in general. So I think she'd be relevant too. But the thing that's good about her is she's always in the area, so it's very easy to have her come up and like record videos last minute. Because when it comes to trends, they're over really quickly. So if she was to film months in advance, like for example, or the John Boy Media, they can't particularly like they can film in advance because their opinion. However, with trends, if you want to be on top of the trend, it has to be like immediately because trends normally don't last more than like 2 weeks-ish. So she can film them last minute to ensure they stay relevant. And so then one idea that I thought would be particularly good for her is to have her on the baseball field doing like a mock coaching skit. So there's this audio by Nick Saban that's like, run the run again. I said, God damn it. Um, and so that audio has been consistently performing well, especially like when actual athletes are doing it. So she could do like a player using a different bat and then cut to her frustrated and showing them how to do it the right way with cheesesteak bat. Because that pretty much every video I've seen, even though that trend like mainly happened last year, I would say, it still performs consistently well just because it's funny and it relies on a lot of natural chemistry. And then for Quinta Brunson, I wanted to show her ordering a cheesesteak, and with no wit whiz no hot, because that's how she said she orders when she's in Philly. And she actually, I believe it was Drew Barrymore. She taught her how to order it, and she was, you have to say wit whiz no hot, or they're not gonna know. They're gonna know that you're not actually from Philly. So again, she's very authentic because she is from Philly, so she'll really connect with Philly viewers. But so show her ordering a cheesesteak, and then when she sees a player, she passes it to him and says, "Oh, it looks like you need it more than me." And then she passes him the bat. And then also, ideally, a segment with a callback to the Abbott Elementary episode Ball Game, because in that episode they went and saw the Phillies, and there was a record broke that day. I believe a player scored 4 home runs in one game. Um, but so it was like an iconic game and it happened live. So ideally, call back to that game and then maybe have someone drop a cheesesteak and they go to pick it up in Sabat instead and they use it as a gag. Or maybe like show them like trying to get the pre-sale and trying to get it before it sells out, something like that. So other video-based promotions, so an ad with a player. So ideally Bryce Harper, but any other kind of foodie or sillier players. I picked Bryce Harper because he's notorious, like he notoriously really likes cheesesteaks. But I kind of wanted to show like the player like frowning at the bat, kind of dissatisfied. And so there's this skit from Family Guy that's used a lot as a meme. But it's like it's called like, oh, it's a wonderful day for pie, where like someone will like smell something and they go like floating towards it. So that sort of thing with a player, and instead of obviously a pie, it would be a cheesesteak. Um, and so then the player would fly over and then order what they've got. Instead of handing over a cheesesteak, they hand over the bat and then they say, tastes like victory. And then he hits a home run at the end. Another option is showing a family with two sons in Little League uniforms asking to get food after they won a game, and then show them putting the cheesesteak bats down after they finish their match. And then you see them walk to Angelo's and order cheesesteaks. And then you cut to one son dropping his cheesesteak before he can eat it, and then his brother cutting his in half and passing it to him. And then on the screen at the end, when it fades out, it can say, "In the city of brotherly love, nothing tastes better than a cheesesteak. Besides, maybe a win." So that'll just show like kind of like the charisma and charm of Philly, and just emphasize the love of the city. Also, it would be good because it would also promote Angelo's, obviously as iconic, but it would just connect a little more to something that the city knows very well. So some other activities are the Phillies Finders scavenger hunt. So that would be a scavenger hunt that takes you to a mix of historically and culturally relevant sites around Philly, around Philly. And so like around those sites, there would be special prizes. So like maybe a voucher for a free cheesesteak from a local business, discounted merch from the Victus website, a rare ticket to, so a ticket to the All-Stars game, I was thinking that would be more rare. So maybe if you collect a bunch, you could trade it in for that, or there's only one at all the locations and you have to be the first to get there. But so at the end, if you post yourself at all the locations that were posted or like hidden with the hashtag nothing bats a cheesesteak. Oh my God, nothing bats a cheesesteak. You'll be entered to a raffle to win tickets. And then lastly, the Philly Special. So that would be a partnership with a bunch of cheesesteak shops all around Philly. So small local ones, but also like big corporations like Wawa. And so for a week leading up to the release of the bat, 25 to 40% of profit from the cheesesteak sales at those businesses go to youth baseball in Philly. So for the campaign timeline in January 2026, there'd be a teaser with a player biting into a cheesesteak and standing in the middle of Love Park. March 2026, they would start filming promotional material that'll take longer to edit. So like the film for filming the Quinta Brunson sketch and ad, and then sending the bat to John Boy Media for their review. And then May 2026 is when they would officially announce the product with the quote, "taste like victory" advertisement. And then June 2026 was when they would announce the pre-orders with Quinta Brunson sketch, with the with the Quinta Brunson sketch. My apologies. So then continuing on, the week of the All-Star game, that is when JL Jupiter would do the How Do You Cheesesteak contest. And then they would have the Philly Finders scavenger hunt and the Philly special run throughout the week. And then random raffles will be dropped throughout the week to incentivize hashtag use. The home run derby is when Popstar Katie would drop the video coaching the players on the field. That one I think should be recorded live during the game just so fans can feel included and they might want to like be able to zoom in the back and see if they can see themselves in the stands. Um, and then that would also be when the John Boy Media review video is released. And then for the All-Star game, is when the full product line drops. So outside on that day, there would be food trucks selling cheesesteaks outside the stadium, and then they would sell a limited number of coupon codes. So first come, first serve, and then each code is one use only, just so there isn't a huge discount. And then after the game, that's when there would be charity tie-ins, a recap video, media coverage. So just generally reposting videos from fans on social media, and then also showcase player and influencer reactions. So, how they're going to measure success on all the goals. So, for goal one, it was to connect to a wider audience beyond just Philly. So, at least 30% of the orders should be outside PA, New Jersey, Delaware. Obviously, the large majority would be for PA, New Jersey, and Delaware. Because they are the closest to the area, they're the most immersed in the culture. But it'd be really good if we could get sales outside, just that it shows that Victus is reaching a wider audience. And then a 30% increase in non-local web sessions. So just look at the spike in unique website visitors from other major baseball areas, so California, Florida, Texas, versus like the normal average. And then monitor national press coverage. So just seeing where is posting and talking about this collab the most. For goal two, establish authentic connection via content. So ideally 25 to 50% completion rate on TikTok and Reels. Ideally, it would be higher, but people tend to have shorter attention spans. So hoping for closer to 50, but it really depends on the audience. one share per 10 units sold, so 10% viral coefficient. So essentially just a lot of shares on the videos because that means people are engaging and like sharing it to their friends, like, oh, this is funny, or oh, I really like this. Um, 70% positive humorous sentiment. So looking for keywords like authentic or that's so Philly versus gimmick or corny. And this is just to emphasize that people are enjoying it and feel like it's actually funny and like entertaining rather than just trying too hard to be something that's not coming naturally. And then also a high tag ratio. Again, this is just to emphasize that people are engaging and like they're showing it to their friends. And then overall, ideally, we would like to have 3 million total views across all collaborative content. And then for goal three, long-term audience and engagement growth. So we would like to sustain a 10 to 15% increase on engagement rate on posts consistently even after the All-Star game, and then a 20% lift in brand name searches on Google, and then at least 10,000 email signups from pre-order time to product release. And that is all. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.